One and go.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mike, health and wellness consultant, medical doctor, fitness coach, bodybuilding athlete, life coach, and also co host of the Doctor's Journal, author, and entrepreneur.
It's a Wednesday night.
Yeah, we're doing our next Wednesday. We're doing our next Wednesday night. Doing the podcast. Where we back. And the back empty. Let's go, hee haw.
Get the nuts, get the supplement.
Get your supplement.
Vibes Cartel.
Toolman here.
Mr. Bazie.
And we have an entrepreneur. I say it one more time. You said entrepreneur. It's very French. Must say.
So you have Dr. Taylor.
You have Dr. Taylor.
This evening. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, Doug, how your weekend was? Well, I mean,
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah,
I
this.
saw a customer being senior on a weekend, Doug. How was your week thus far?
Well,
You got service today.
No, I get water. Hopefully, it's some mineral water. We will take it. We will take it.
That's a big hope, Doug.
We will take it. It is. What's it?
It is, how?
It doesn't taste like pipe water.
It's like a limestone.
Yeah, I can get the potassium back in my system.
I feel like you're trying to say something in code here.
No, I ain't saying nothing. I didn't know it was fucking suit day and
Not the
shit
man
day.
fresh, boy.
Like I have my long suit too. I would go home and change. I would because he picked the burgundy. Is it burgundy or brown?
Yeah, Burgundy.
Yeah, you.
Fresh.
It's not a cigar smoking kind of suit.
I feel like we had to pull out a box out.
Like, do you smoke cigars?
Nah, I don't.
Damn.
That's not that's
Yeah,
not the look.
that's not healthy.
Yeah.
It used to be in the 80s.
So all you suspects, you baby daddies, the fellas and them who coming off for the breakups, we have a episode here for you tonight, right? There's a local doctor, a general practitioner,
Actual doctor.
an actual doctor this
Yeah.
time. Right?
We had an actual doctor before, but the actual
doctor, yeah, in that field, you know.
Yeah, in the field.
All you understand what we talk
We're
about.
not talking about Trevor. That's what we're saying. We talking about Trevor.
This is not a bush
It's
doctor.
not a bush doctor.
Right? But he really had this evening to talk about how men could improve in many different ways, right? So, there are a lot of people who do a lot of work, a lot of things, right? But they're really not impactful.
Right.
I would consider this person to be impactful, so
Appreciate that.
welcome, Margaret.
And of course, ladies, I can't afford
Yeah.
Red Man on deck.
Where is he? Look like a buff cast?
No way, no, that's not. I wouldn't say about buff cast.
I don't know, though. I just
gotten this before?
bowl that one, though.
Well, I've heard about Rome. You know,
I could see that. I could see that.
I just saw him today too.
But okay, if you're like buff, remember McLovin from Superbad?
Nah.
He ain't gonna make love with
Like, you young then? You young? You know what I'm talking about? No,
She ain't gonna make love
I
with
don't watch TV. But
Yeah, that's too far back, boy.
what?
TikTok. Okay. Nah, but I can't see the room, boy.
Yeah, you ruined it for me.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's
All right, but room not here. We talking to
Yeah. Because you talking to Magic Mike.
Magic man.
You talking to Magic Mike? Yes. So let's see how. What we should talk
I
about
want to
first.
start off with the lifestyle.
The lifestyle. That's what I want to say.
Society lifestyle.
In terms of health, diet.
Yeah, just basically being a man, I started to see a lot of things in the social media world now where it is healthcare, face routine. Let's call it the
Facials?
face routine and then this
Right.
nighttime routine. So there are a lot of complicated information.
Of course, the IGs is like, well, if you quit porn and do weights,
push-ups,
do weights,
100 push-ups,
for the next
600
20
sit-ups,
years.
and it's just this kind of intense. If you don't get at it, you're going to be left by the wayside. And that to me seems it seems busy word.
Disingenuous.
It seems disingenuous. It seems insidious. Because it kind of pushes people to be what they're not. They're trying to force an ideal of you being perfect or nothing at all.
Right. Yeah. That's social media influences basically. So, the most important thing we have to realize is a lot of social media is a show, right? We are designed to put our best foot forward. you're not going to really show the worst thing you have about yourself on social media, especially not initially. So that is the first thing. Second thing is comparison is very dangerous.
Jeez.
And it can actually lead to things like depression and feelings of self-inadequacy. So the moment you start to compare yourself with what you're seeing on social media and these guys, etc., you're putting yourself in a dangerous position, right? Now, it's different from saying, hey, I want to be like this person, and you actually making steps to become close to that person. But an even better approach to take is actually to say, listen, I will be the hero of my own story. So the future goal I have is myself in 10 years, for example. That is the next level. But it's much easier to see someone that you admire online or wherever, and you say, listen, I want to be like this person. I want to emulate this person.
You see, when you say 10 years, a lot of people doesn't really understand. Like, 10 years is not that long. When you think about your last 10 years, right?
Last 10 years, we was in our 20s, so we're like mid-30s now.
Yeah.
Like,
so 10 years ago, having to put a plan that would say, in the next 10 years, I'll be this.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have a longevity by, just to be honest.
Most people just want to be buff. They think healthy is just be buff, or they think healthy is just
Aesthetic.
Yeah. I have a cousin who's just like, I don't really care about the benefits. I'm just looking for the aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I was always in disagreement with that. I think muscles should be practical.
Right. Okay.
So what you would say to somebody like him who really not into the importance of the physical part? You know?
That's a very good question, because the trick is it that because he's only aspiring for the aesthetics that he's not going to get the health benefits? Right. So the thing is, once you engage in physical activity over a certain threshold, you are going to get the health benefits of it, irrespective of the reason for doing the physical activity. So meaning, if you say, well, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do legs 3 or 4 days for the week, you will get health benefits from that. Let's say you just want to grow the legs, you will get the health benefits from it. So the reason is not as important as getting it done.
I see. So just get it, just stop being lazy is the motivation.
Because my thing is, like I have this guy who's he's work at the bank, so he's to be a teller, and he's training too. I forget his name. I know his name, but I'm not going to say
He's a local person.
He's a local person. So he's work at the bank and he's trained too. So when I was applying for a credit card or some shit. Anyway, so I was talking to him and I said, I want to remain the exact size aesthetically, but just be real strong. Is that a thing?
It is.
Like I could be her size, this size, and just be able to like duck me, like this.
Yeah. It's very interesting, because if you look at powerlifters, they actually have weight classes, and you would be amazed at some of the, like, they have small people like her lifting 300-400 pounds. Strength. So strength is not necessarily associated with how much muscles you have, although the more muscle you have, you're supposed to be more strong or stronger. But it's like they have how many construction workers you see that very tiny and it's lifting all this heavy loads.
I thought he was going to go the piper route. I thought he was going to go the piper route.
Exactly.
What pipe was you know?
I didn't want to, but
No, but you can go with this Armenian he or sure. They have a range of creative permissions. So yeah. So small. You don't necessarily need to have mass to be strong.
No.
All right, cool. So yeah,
What you mean,
sleeper
bro?
body though is what you're looking for.
The whole thing is about
Sleeper
it
body.
is how you train, right? So like a strength trainer, a power lifter, they would do reps, 4 to 6 reps. If you're a bodybuilder, you tend to do 8 to 12, and even in the higher rep range. So it's all about the type of training will determine how your body looks. Look at a sprinter. they do high intensity interval training,
Hit,
which is the
hit.
sprints.
Right.
The legs are massive, right? Look at a marathon runner, very small and tiny because they are endurance trainers. So the muscles now change and conform to the type of stimulus that they give it, like what weights or just running or these
So it's
different.
paid to be a hybrid athlete. In a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I just want more on the point of like when I say practical muscles.
Yeah.
Why I thought it was like I don't want to play sports, but I want to be like if I happen to get in a altercation,
Yeah.
and it's like that, and I can just doop Jason
Yes.
Bourne scene.
Correct.
It's like, and it just doesn't.
Of course, the best remedy is to run away first.
No, I'm talking about like it's like 5v1, 5v1.
A 5v1, dog.
Wow, but-
You want to run the field in a 5v1, dog?
Yeah. I'm thinking about the.
You want to run the field in a 5?
Nobody wants to run the fade in a 5v1, but like, okay, nobody gonna watch you and press you unless they like some kind of
Aye,
fight. But
that's
me
the
now
person,
is like,
yeah.
I can press him, and I wanted to be like, yeah, press him, and
All
rap,
right. That's what you're saying.
and go and sleep.
See what you're saying, but that's what you're saying. All right, so we still on the point of lifestyle, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the weightlifting; it's also about the dietary aspect. Yeah. So it does get real tedious to eat a specific diet. I see people talking about carnivore diet. What's the next one, boy? What they had again?
Paleo.
Paleo and this one with the
Mediterranean.
ketogenic
Yeah,
and
keto, yeah, low carb, and
it started to spin your head.
right.
Yeah, son. Pause. But anyway, so it started making you
Yeah,
confused.
we play that game. Yeah. We play that game here, Magic Mike. We do that.
Please play that game and watch yourself.
Watch yourself. Don't say nothing crazy.
Right.
But definitely, what's the best way to go about getting a proper diet? Because I hear you say it's called macros and thing, and that's why I started to be like, okay.
The answer to the question is, what is your goal? Every diet can work for different reasons. So first to begin, the best diet is the one that you can be consistent with, right? That is the first thing. The next thing is you need to ask yourself, why? Why diet? Health reasons, to look good, to get shredded, put on size. What are we trying to achieve? And I could answer your question. But, I mean, to be fair, to make it very simple, if you are trying to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit, meaning you need to eat less calories than you need. If you want to put on size, you need to eat more calories than you need, usually 500 calories.
A day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It can get very technical if you're looking at macros and all these things. So if you're looking at health,
What is macros?
good question. So your macros are what we call the macronutrients. We have three major ones. We have protein, fats, and carbohydrates.
Okay.
Right? So each one of them is associated with a certain amount of calories. So 1 gram of fat is associated with 9 calories. 1 gram of proteins is 4 calories, and 1 gram of carbs is 4 grams is 4 calories. So now this is how we get the calories. The calories, protein, fats, and carbs, right? So if you are trying to calculate your macronutrient requirement, you are going to say, okay, there's a formula, right? And you have to factor in things like your age, your gender, your physical activity, and that will give you your total daily energy expenditure. And when you get that now, you plug it into the equation, and then you say, okay, you need 2,500 calories to survive or to maintain your weight. Now you do the reverse engineering where you say, okay, I'm going to minus 500 calories. Would I minus it from fat, carbs, or protein? Usually it's better to minus it from the fats because it's easier, right? Depending on the type of look you'll go in for, people tend to minus the carbs because what happens is if you ever seen anyone who does a keto diet, that is probably the quickest way. The two quickest ways to lose weight would be a keto diet or intermittent fasting, right?
Keto is this meat alone?
No. So keto is close to it. So it's close to the carnivore diet, but the keto is fats alone and protein, no carbs.
Okay.
Yeah?
It's very random.
It's rough. It's rough.
What
but-
has caused you to just, what's the reason?
So usually if you're trying to shred, meaning you want to lose excess weight in a short period of time, you go on the keto diet, right? Is it sustainable? Data would suggest that in probably about 6 months or so, you should probably try some carbs just to kind of alter the metabolism and all these different things. But what happens is because you remove the carbs, you lose a lot of water. So in like 2 weeks, you're losing 10 pounds, easy. But then now you start to plateau and go down slowly. Intermittent fasting is where you select a period of time in the day to eat. For example, you start to eat at 12 p.m. until 8 p.m. So that is an 8-hour period where you're eating, and you'll have a 16-hour fasting window. And what they have found is that you actually will not be able to eat as much as you can if you're eating for the whole day. It can adjust certain receptors like for your insulin and stuff, and it can potentially lower your A1C, which is one of the markers for diabetes and pre-diabetes. So it is healthy in that regard, but it could also make you lose weight as well too, if that's what you're trying to achieve.
Phoebe, when you're editing this episode, make sure and get the subtitles because I go on.
Yeah, don't follow this.
Yeah, because I had to play this back.
So,
and I got lost.
let me play advocate here. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I were to say something like Carnival is coming up,
yeah,
and I just come off the Christmas season,
right,
Pork,
eat what I want.
pastel.
I get a big girdle belly,
right.
and I hear this podcast, and I say, all right. So the first step is that, and I come up with a harebrained scheme to do a combination of diets
Okay,
to lead myself to a body goal.
right,
So I start with the ketogenic,
yeah,
and then because Dr. Taylor say about 2 weeks, I should,
okay, I see where you're
I
going.
should taper off
I'm
now.
going to listen to this
Yeah,
podcast.
and then after do that intermittent fasting now, I should be good for about 6 months. So in that case now, they can kind of combine until they get this so-called body goal, which in itself is kind of dangerous because I'm certain if you keep tampering with this machine that your body is, it can start giving what machines do, which is feedback as trouble. So what's a baseline health directive that you should probably follow, or a protocol in the sense of holistically body mind kind of interactivity?
Okay. So if you're looking at, generally speaking, for your diet, I would suggest complex carbohydrates. This would be your ground provision,
It finally comes in.
sweet potato. Very good. I was talking with Brittany, and she was actually saying that, we were talking with Latoya as well, and it's very interesting, right? She's another fitness person. And
She's a business person too, so
yeah. So it's very interesting that Usain Bolt, when he was breaking the records, they were actually saying that it's because of the ground provision that he's eating. And they were trying to ban it and make it illegal.
all right, I remember that.
Imagine
Okay.
that, right? So all I'm saying is that the type of nutrients we have available to us are very different to what is available in the US, meaning we have high quality premium goods down
And
here.
it just have GMOs in the States.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? So we should utilize that. So complex carbohydrates, lean proteins, which would be white meats, that is your chicken breast, turkey breast, white fish. I have some pink salmon as well too. If you're eating beef, lean beef, 80-20, if you could get 90-10, that is the percentage of protein to fat. And fats, we're looking at polyunsaturated fats, which are the good fats, which would be things like your olive oil, your avocado, your nuts, chia seeds, flax seeds. That is the general protocol. And if you, technically, to be honest, if you are eating like that, it is extremely difficult to get fat.
Oh, because that's why Sparrow was kind of because he really never had a white meat yet. That's
Good one.
yeah, no, I was learning that one. I was learning stuff.
Yeah.
That is why.
Yeah, he was kind of you put on some size. You didn't have that white meat.
Yeah, Congo man.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
All right, so eating that way to the people who have already been, their taste buds have been what we call
Yes.
broken. You know, they want a specific taste.
Yeah.
That's the fats, the
Sugar.
sugars, it's excessive salt.
Yeah.
How is taper that off into actually eating healthier without the craving aspect?
That's an excellent question. And if we understand the reality, maybe people will wake up, right? Because I think people need to wake up to reality. And the reality is that the world is against us from the time we are born. What I mean is, it's not easy to get in shape. It's not easy to be healthy. You understand that?
In modern society, not just general.
In modern. Yeah. And the whole thing is, sugar has been found to be more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah.
Right? So now you have to ask yourself, well, why? Why? That's a different story.
Yeah.
But now we need to understand, okay, these things are addictive for a reason. Right? That's a different story as well. And now that we understand that, okay, if we continue to consume these things, in 30 years, I will look like this. I will have heart attacks, strokes. I may or may not have a loss of a limb, and I may or may not be dead. Then now you understand, well, it's time to take action. You have to move with some sort of urgency. So the first thing is to understand that doing said things are not good for you. That's the first thing you need to understand. When you realize, okay, now you have to have what you call discipline, right? Because it's very difficult to do certain things, but then you say, well, a lot of people like to make excuses. And the reality is, if you live a certain way, you'll have a certain outcome. And looking at the sugar, ultra processed foods, very easy to get, right? You just walk by the shop, you get it, right? And these things are linked to all the diseases that we have.
Damn.
All the diseases.
What I was going to ask is, with all the things that you mentioned before, I noticed you never mentioned fiber. Like, where does fiber play a role in all?
Yeah. So the complex carbohydrates is where you get the fiber from, all that ground provision.
Okay.
Purpose of fiber is to help line the gut and help with the bowel movements.
Because that youth man I know, well, you know him too. He was like, I don't eat vegetables, like at all. He just eating straight chicken and chips,
Right.
KFC. No, he hates veggies.
Yeah.
And he grew up on veggies.
Right.
So I'm like, bro, he's like eating on like young. So, but that will probably do something to him.
Definitely, right? Yeah, veggies, all those things. That is how you get the fiber. So now, back to your question, and how do you taper off? First, you have to change your mindset.
Shit.
And you have to ask yourself, what do I want? We can't be pussyfooting around the thing. We have to understand, what do I want for my life? And you have to be mature enough to make that decision and commitment to say, hey, I want X. It's just like when I went up to compete, I said, okay, I need to look like this. When I had to do my 3 hours of cardio a day, working out, strict diet, all these things, it's my mindset that propelled me through and kept me going. So once you are able to have a certain mindset to what you want to do, you will achieve it.
Well, okay. So for my, what are we doing?
When you done?
So for my thing is, so on the flip side, this is for people who want to shred. What about the skinnies now? Because you talk for the big kids.
Yeah.
Where my issue is eating in
Right.
general. I just don't like eating.
Yeah.
So I go just be like, nah, I will get on me. You see when I work in, I go sit down whole day, the day will pass, there's like you eat. I'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like completely just space on eating.
Yeah.
So it have any like a one stop Just take one meal and that's good for the day. Like I was talking to our trainer about this. I was like, is it possible that I could like my body could not absorb any energy or I always call it calories,
Right.
and I could use it like a car, like when I need it.
Make it hibernate.
Yeah, something like that. Like is that
So what happens is we have different body types, right? And your body type is what we call an ectomorph, which means it's very difficult to put on weight,
like
right?
a crab?
My fiance is the same way. It's hard, very hard for her to put on size.
Good for you.
And you could actually eat anything you want, meaning you could eat anything and not put on weight, right?
Even
Because-
the white meat. Yeah.
That's because the metabolism is so fast, right? The metabolism is so fast. So now, even this takes discipline.
Shit.
Yeah, because if you are trying to put on size, you have to say, okay, I need 3,000 calories a day. I'm going to eat 3,005. Do that 2 weeks, no change, 4,000. You keep going down the road. It's probably, I don't know.
I
Actually.
could
That's
barely.
what I
I could.
thought, yeah.
No, I'm not lying. I could barely drink 3 beers, like without getting full.
Right.
Like you see me.
That's
eat
what
that.
I thought,
I was like eat piece of the hamburger. I good.
But you do it, you know.
Now-
If you want to run full up 3 or 4, what is that 5? You want?
No.
You want to run full up 5, dog. You had to eat
I could because I'm sure it's people. I don't know. I'm not sure if you still on a natural side. It have people who like struggle with trying to eat,
Yeah.
like getting again. I mean, but like
When you see like the bulimic.
probably or
Well,
I don't know. Maybe that could be me. I don't know.
that's a different
Or
issue.
what's the next one? When you
Anorexia.
yeah, anorexia.
Anorexia.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be that, and I don't know. I don't know.
Nah. You're
I
anorexic.
don't know.
You're not anorexic.
I don't know.
You're not anorexic.
I don't know. That's a fling. So let me just be the victim here.
You're not anorexic.
Okay. Right. So my second. Wait now. Your Twilight Zone. Huh?
Hold on, when you finish, when you're done, we were running into this.
Well, so you talk about the fitness.
Yeah, no, well,
Yeah.
we have plenty more to
No, you
go
talk
into.
about, because you know what? I want to ask him.
All right, well, before you go into
Because we
that,
going down that road.
All right,
The name of the show is He Ho.
so I want to just finish off on the lifestyle, right? Because I guess what you're saying in many ways is that the lifestyle had to be attached to a purpose. And if
Yeah.
you are no blasted purpose, then of course we are living for.
Yeah.
So if you are a degenerate person, right? And I'm not trying to say it in a way to insult anybody because sometimes they just end up degenerate out of the pressures of life. You say to yourself, the world against you. And I agree.
Yeah.
All right. But finding that motivation to actually work into a purpose
Yeah.
is where I see a lot of men not really being reached in that
Yes.
sense.
Correct.
Right? So I wanted to guide us through that motivational experience of wanting to become a aesthetic athlete in that sense. And what that journey looked like in terms of like preparing for a show. Right? Even in terms of the rewards that you get from it. Right? What exactly drive you through that whole process?
Yeah, I could refer to the show and also in general as well too. So the first thing I would say is that you have to believe in a higher power than you, whether it be God or whatever else it is. That is the first thing. The second thing is you have to have goals, right? Now there are different types of goals. So you have means goals, you have ends goals. So, for example, if I say I want $10 million, right? I want to win the lotto. That's a means goal. Because the end goal, why I really want to win the lotto, is so that I could be financially free, so that I can provide for my family, etc. That is the end goal. So people need to understand the difference and not just say, I want $10,000, right? And you're stuck there because that is nothing. That is just fleeting, right? So first, you have to have the goals. So now you have your directive because remember, if you have a ship, the best ship in the world, and you don't have a compass, you're not going to get to go to where you want to go, right? So you have your goals. Then, you have to say, okay, what is driving me to do this. So people might say that, well, what's your why? Right? And people say, if the why is good enough, it can bring you through anyhow. So, meaning the journey may be very difficult, but if the why is important enough, think of it like this. If you have to provide for your child and, somebody says, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z, you'll probably do it, right? Because that is extremely important. It's like life and death. If you can find that reason that is so important that you would rather die than not do this, most likely you'll achieve your goal.
That really, that
again,
really better.
Yeah.
You know what generation we in? We in the generation of distracted. We thought the one or two people, and they will call them psychopaths, that it will be like so stringent. Like Kobe Bryant kind of focus, or Michael Jordan type of focus.
Laser focus.
Yeah, then everybody else is like, well, I think I'm going to go to this party this weekend, or I'm going to do this.
So now you have to look at it again. That's why I say wake up to reality, and you have to ask yourself, what do I want out of life? Because if you have no plan, you will nowhere.
So when you wake up reality, what age that was for you? You would say.
Excellent question. Because now what I would say is this. In life is a cycle of deaths and rebirths. Meaning your old life has to die for you to become a new person, for you to evolve, right? And there are many times throughout life, many things happen, experiences, and you learn certain things and you say, well, listen, this is not what I want. Or somebody speaks to you and say, hey, look at this. So what I would say is, one, always be a student, right? Because, if you're a master, you can't really learn anything. So always be a student to knowledge, right? And they say that humility is the beginning of understanding. So it's like, when you are in a room, you go into the room. If you speak, you have gained nothing. But if you listen, you might be able to pick up 0.1% of something you could take home. So always listen, right? Always listen unbiasedly. That is one of the biggest challenges for people. So what I would say is, imagine you having an argument with somebody. You need to have what you call empathy. Where is this person coming from? Why is he behaving like this? What happened this morning to him? Right? What is happening in his life that is making him act like this? When you start approaching life like that, what he is saying and whatever, that means nothing to you. Because now you're looking deeper to see, okay, is this really targeted at me, or is he just lashing out?
Projection.
You understand? So that is very important in terms of communication, in relationships, interpersonal, and other, family, everything. That is probably one of the key elements, especially like if you're looking at relationships, trying to keep things together. That is one. The next thing is this: support system. They say you are the sum total of the 5 people that you hang around. That is true. You never notice that. You ever heard the crab in a bucket philosophy? Yeah, right? That is, unfortunately, that is most people. And anytime you're trying to move up, who you feel you is, you don't know we anymore, all these type of things.
And the flattery too. Even the flattery just come at an angle. Is be like, since when is all that flattery?
Oh, that's a good example.
Yeah.
The show, where you do the show and then it's like,
Oh,
we get the back end of it.
yeah.
Like, bruh.
Brother, it's the same two fellas. It's all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have time constraints, so we have to get into the dark side of the web.
Fair enough,
right?
fair enough.
Patreon.
Oh, great. So we got a guy that is buff. Yes,
The guys getting better earlier.
PhD. You known on the social medias. He's red skin, just in case you're into that kind of thing. And all of this, off the mortal resources that me and Mr. Bazie have
Yeah, we try.
at our disposal. So, you want to see extra content like this, you go on
The picture.
you go on Patreon, which is www.patreon.com/he_ho_, because if he underscores whores, that's just misogyny.
I mean, I'm trying to do that.
course.
Yeah. Right? So
I know you like that one. I know you laughed. She laughed. She laughed.
right, that's a good one out there, right? So when you come to the Patreon, the things that you're gonna get would be the behind the scenes. We have special conversations outside the remits of the show.
Who knows?
And who knows, you might be able to see a bikini model. You never know. Yeah, so it's all good. Just a $5. How much is he?
Right now, we have you see how the cup of coffee, if you can see that. No, you can't see
You can't see the cup of
That's-
coffee.
Yeah, he drinking a cup of coffee. It's about the same price as a cup of coffee. You Americans that logging in.
Yeah, for the freshwater Yankees, we love your.
Yeah, no, they want to drink the Starbucks. Just give us our $5, bro. I mean, if you want to see a little bit more.
A little dollar US.
A little, nah, $5. No, I put it at $3.
It's $3 US. Yeah, we could do
Starbucks everywhere, bro. Yeah, you can get without one cup of coffee for like one.
And for
one
the trainings, we take donations too. Just
like cash donations.
Yeah.
No cash.
cash.
In cash.
Yeah, cool. All right, so
Cash.
we're moving back into the dark side of the web. Right, as he half of the time.
So, a button for that.
Yeah, we're gonna get one more.
No, that's how we answer your question. Okay, we back.
Cool. So we're back. We're talking about the dark side of the athletic industry in terms of the men's fitness industry, right? Drugs, right? We're going to be plain and solid with it.
And anabolic steroids.
Anabolic
steroids. Anabolic. We're talking about the injections.
The checkups, right?
The booty shots.
We're gonna delve into what are the negatives and if there are any positives of taking
And-
any form of enhancement
and TRTs.
and the TRTs and all the buzzwords as we actually see on social media all the time.
Yeah.
What exactly is this new craze? Is this trend of men, especially men over a certain age, going into this drug zone?
Oh, and of course, that's what I had to put in my thing.
Yeah.
Of course, we just call it aphrodisiacs and
Like
we
honey
create-
pack and them
Yeah,
kind of
honey pack and all.
Okay, how to go do it and
Yeah.
All right, so let's structure it. So we want to start off with the anabolic steroids, right? Because we want to still remain on the health and fitness industry, right?
Yeah.
So the anabolic steroids, we know it's something that's widespread, but what are the effects of anabolic steroids?
So yeah, anabolic steroids is a wide class of drugs called basically androgens. So the most common one is testosterone. Now, as men and women both have testosterone, and testosterone is the primary muscle builder. So the reason why men who take these drugs take them is to get muscles. But there's also another side too, because a lot of men take it to feel more masculine as well too, because it's
a thing, Bazie. That's a thing.
yeah, it actually has what we call neurocognitive enhancement, which means just the brain, you actually get more vigor, more vitality, and more goal-oriented activity.
From testosterone?
Yeah, that is why I think men build everything.
Oh,
we
Doctor, so hey, just we don't want to get, you don't want to get to that.
He said that misogynist statement.
Hold on. Oh my God.
God, buddy.
Give me a little warning before
You're
you
wild, buddy.
It's a big one.
You know what?
I just
What are you
feel.
looking for? Speed?
So,
Yeah. You're on speed or you're on speed now? Slow.
All right, so Doc, yes,
I know.
we agree.
I know you might think.
But he looks at things, you might think we're early about that, but we're trying to not be
Muscle.
on shit. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. So
Wait.
testosterone.
Let's side note. There's a conversation you have with your fiance, and then if she jump on, it's like, hey, we built everything. Just get back in the car. She laughing. I mean, don't walk on that car. Walk back inside.
Yeah.
Walk back in that vehicle.
All right.
Yeah.
So testosterone being a driving force, right? So you're saying.
Yeah. So, it makes you actually want to achieve goals, right? And that is why everything in general, look at society and civilization. We had Alexander the Great trying to conquer the world. You have men being, I wouldn't say the predatory species, but men are the ones who go out and try to get that mate. All these things are a marker of testosterone,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
And that is why when men take these things, they become more aggressive.
How terrible.
Yeah. So how? Okay, so now with the advent, because this is going to go wild now. With the advent of like feminism, where women is there more testosterone in the food? Like, do women have more testosterone now?
That is an excellent question. So it's not that. So listen what's happening. It's a very complex. It's a very
You want me to press
complex
the button
thing.
because you need to know it's just the Twilight Zone we're in right
boy,
now.
oh boy.
This is the Twilight Zone, by the way, where you could actually say what you want to say because it's all
Make believe.
make believe. You know, really. Right? So yes, we're going back to the point.
So all I would say is that women are, for many different reasons, becoming more masculine, and men are also becoming more feminine. So think about that interplay there, right? So there are many different reasons which you can't get into, but one of them is work, right? Certain times to get ahead to a certain different level, you may have to do certain things. So, for example, in medicine, sometimes women have to become a little more masculine to get to the top. Like for a female surgeon, for example, it becomes a little more tricky because, women are constrained by certain different things like fertility years. They may want to have the children. So now, okay, you go and leave, somebody come in your place. And so it's more tricky for women to advance in that light. And therefore, they have to make certain adaptations to be relevant.
Is it also a thing that like pretty privilege is a thing? So like they're good looking, so like okay, like an ugly woman is had to work a little bit harder than a pretty woman.
So the thing about pretty privilege.
You're not putting up.
So
You know I talking about. Talk about. You know I talking about.
yeah, so pretty privilege is a thing. Let's be real, right? Especially works more on men than women, but it's actually across the board too. So men get it as well too. Yeah.
Red man, 6 foot something, buff. Oh yeah, men get it too.
I see. So I want to be an advocate here, right? How long ago that was? That was in the 60s when these women decided to
Burn bras and stuff.
burn the bras and smoke cigarettes and
What?
and be suffragettes and do the whole nine yards. We have seen a tide change,
Yeah.
more or less,
Yeah.
where the world has gotten to a place where it's no longer about. I want to be very careful in how I word this because this is not about. You had to be careful, dog. It's 2024. We're trying to be good guys because you always get any bad guy rapper.
Oh gosh.
We always get any bad guy rappers. We're trying to be sincere here.
Yeah.
Right? So, look at our partner face. He having a hard time, but we understand.
I realize you playing a real politics thing.
Yeah, play the politics sometimes, dog. Just sometimes. I mean, play the politics.
We in front of the light skins, right? We in front of the light skins, and as we can't talk greasy. Okay, so, okay, guys.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. So the agenda has been set,
Right.
and the world is how the world is.
Okay.
All right. So right now, telling men you need a purpose is like casting pull to swing.
Well, at least in the western side of the world.
At least in the side of the world, right?
At least,
Because
like,
the situation is due to the Twilight Zone being the updating zone that it is. We realize that the world is all fakery in the bakery.
Okay.
Nothing is actually
Like what you said with social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we see a heavily created world that is actually putting you in a box, and then when you actually say, well, what's the sense of fighting up in this box for? Because it's not really making me fulfilled.
What was my purpose? So, because I'm willing to go on our limb here that you don't play video games.
I used to.
No, no.
Intently. No, now, no.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't play video games, you don't
You're not a
consume
lost boy.
pornography at,
You're not a lost boy.
at an alarming rate.
No.
All of them things. So the thing that they're now trying to sell as a package in terms of you actually doing,
Right.
but I think it was probably you got it the package where it's like, okay, I can't really be watching porn all the time. I'm trying to get
Okay, so what we're trying to say then is that he was in the era of this is how men are.
there should be, I need to get these goals, and then they start to be like, well, they have you and they have a lot of men like you, so we just go and take this, like, okay, buffing this from Redman here,
Right.
take the ambition from this next man, whatever, and then make it into, okay, alpha male
Right.
pack, if you will.
Right.
This is what you have to do to be a male in
Right.
2024.
Right.
Is that a thing, or
In terms of what, like now or in the past?
no, because what you meant no is just porn and PlayStation, well,
Right.
Xbox
Well,
if you're in the States.
Yeah, you know, again, you see, I don't want to go too
Yeah.
deep, right? But in my opinion, I would just say that I think certain things are set up to destroy the nuclear home, the nuclear family, because that is the
Bring him on a new one, kids.
Yeah, it's not like a no one cares kind of conversation.
yeah, that is like the most pivotal thing in society. And once you destroy that, certain things happen, right? That is one. I think there is a situation where men are becoming feminized and women are becoming masculinized. So we actually have a very dangerous situation. If you look at it, if you have a feminist, they don't want to marry a man and a man don't want to marry her. So that is a whole different issue, right? And we just speak in facts. That is not, right?
So as you say, so that's why you push to be like, I want to get married, I want to do these things.
Well, yeah, but so to go a little deeper now is that certain things have been set up where it's difficult for a man to get out of certain things. So like for games, right? Games are very addictive, and there's a reason because men crave control. And if they can't get it in their personal life or their work life, they'll do it at home in front of a video game. So now imagine like this role-playing game. In my time, they had this game called Warcraft, World of Warcraft.
Like Warcraft. What are we talking about?
You have Dota and all these different things. So it's like that this role-playing game, and you level up and different things like that. And people will spend days playing this game. This character leveling up, you're buying the weapons and all these different things.
Have you been to an internet cafe recently? Like this, like walk into it, and you will see where the men are falling through the cracks.
Gosh,
You
I don't
laughing?
mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh.
Pause. But like it's like just what you want to do in life, nothing, and it's just okay. But a real within COD, or Call of Duty,
Yeah, I know COD, yeah.
a real good in
Or some RPG.
a real good in this,
Yeah.
And the whole thing about it, that is escapism.
yeah, pretty much.
You're not happy with your current situation. And
Or they learn to speak Spanish. I'm gonna put as you from this. They learn to speak Spanish.
Absolutely.
yeah, and so going back to that, who you surround yourself with, right? 5. What do you say to yourself? So what I mean is this. A negative thought is more powerful than a positive thought. And if you say something negatively, that's 10 times more powerful than a positive thought. So what I mean is, I'm poor saying things like that.
Yeah.
Brucey said, never joke about these things because your mind remembers, right? So don't say, I'm stupid and all these different things. And we have this situation where some parents tell the children, you're good for nothing. Teachers, you're good for nothing.
God.
You will never reach anywhere. All these different things. And these things affect people. I've seen people being told these things, and so said, so done.
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago is an island. We agree with that. It's a fact.
I thought it was a continent.
Yeah,
I lost the continent. Turkey.
There's no longer a continent.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
So we are so far away from the pace that the Western world is actually pushing.
Right.
So we get like the residual trends
Yeah.
of like the Western world. People will go away and then come back and try to create a trend on this island. And oftentimes, when the Western world go on past an issue, we still reeling from that,
Yeah.
right? We later on, people and then proceed into a whole new racket, and we still fighting up from the fallout. I don't know.
For example,
G Unit.
for example,
Okay,
for example, the coffee shop era, which
Yeah.
was the 90s, right, was basically a fall off from coming from disco, everybody coming off the cocaine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like we pick up coffee and then the bubble. We
That was
now
a
get
bubble.
we now get in the coffee shop era.
Right,
Like how much
okay.
years later. We know into the
And we don't even have that culture.
look, we know getting it now.
We finding that culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what that's like a perfect example. Like 20 years later. Yeah, about 20 years
Yeah,
later.
yeah,
20
about-
other years later, we know getting
So that is also congruent with all the other aspects that we would take from the leaders of the Western world.
Right.
All right. So our small island now coming to this whole feminism versus masculinity argument. We are in a weird space where we coming from post-colonial. We slave descendants and
indentured workers.
indentured workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never had the issues of the emergent Western world.
Right.
We was always in the background.
Yeah.
So now this man and woman problem coming into Trinidad and Tobago, it kind of seem out of place now.
Yeah.
You know, because I, on my regular day-to-day basis, see a lot of men and women who live functionally and normally.
Yeah. Because we have a relatively traditional type of
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah, we kind of conservative here.
What I would see though is in the party culture, there's a Jekyll and Hyde kind of transformation that has taken place, particularly among the women.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Right?
But your man and your man and your hey, big up to you, love you do it.
Yeah,
you
love
do
what-
it.
love
Love
what
you do
yourself,
it.
right? But we see now that the Jekyll and Hyde situation taking place and women don't portray, except in the parties, a certain type of activity and approach to the dating marketplace.
Or carnival.
Or carnival.
Or carnival. Where
Yeah.
it's just like the most touch kill and then
Is
Monday
that-
and Tuesday. it's
Sorry,
like,
T-Fed.
use bubble?
Yeah,
On the
you-
catch rock? What's this?
No, I'm not saying women can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and this is not I'm not really casting any aspersions on anybody. But what I'm saying is that our culture now is at a confusing point where
Yeah.
how do you find a virtuous one when it's kind of trippy out here because
Do I-
you got
Do I have to be 6'5"? Do I have to be a athlete?
ask a
Do I
woman,
have to be light
she'd be like, not necessarily because I'm in a bikini means as a whole. But then, you know, so it's like, where does a man stand in terms of finding the motivation to be a man? Because at the end of the day, it's always about that V for victory, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? So if you don't know what I mean with the V for victory,
I don't know the aliens talking about.
right, I'll be plain, it's about the vagina.
Oh, say that. God damn it. These hyperboles.
Yeah, trying to be. He's on the water. Some nice gesture. Where's he with alliterations?
No. Euphemism.
Euphemisms. You're using euphemisms there, right? So it's always about that. And for the men who really had to push to the top, they had to see that motivation being there.
And then the
So-
shortcut come. The shortcut come
and
now.
here is the shortcut.
Where it's like, I could get on the hub, I could go on the
Right.
hub, or and if I have a little bit of dust, I could actually feel it. I could
I
actually
can
feel
escape,
Yeah.
as he was alluding to.
And that's a lot of men.
So
Like,
that was a long-winded way to say, you know, I've seen in the Western world, like even yesterday, Elon Musk introduced this new robot
Yeah. Yeah.
that could
Yeah,
do
robot.
anything.
anything you
If
want
you
to
check the
do.
comments for that, it's crazy because
my God.
the man was like, so when the hop tour,
Yeah, with the hop tour.
the hop to bot coming, where's the clock 9,000?
Imagine the sex industry being like,
Men
this
say,
is an opportunity.
Elon.
Well, I mean, yeah, they already have the dolls and stuff, right?
right, so imagine that robot doll now.
Trouble.
Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
it was like 3,000-4,000 US.
No, like this robot now, that could actually walk around and dog.
I know. Hey, kind of crazy.
Well, you know, we just gonna end up in the same situation that I was saying. Loss of the nuclear family. Right now, it's happening in Japan.
Or,
Right? You know what's happening,
yeah. Men stop having.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right?
yeah, it's true. But there's a movement in Japan as well that women have decided to go their own way.
Divested.
Let's call it, I think, is H4, B4, some kind of
That's South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah,
South Korea.
Right. They actually have a bill that they tried to pass in Japan to encourage men to come across to.
I ain't taking that trap.
I will take the trap. Yo.
No, boy, don't do it.
Don't do it. Japan is a
chain me up, Gil.
Japan is a
me
chain up, you know. Japan is a homogeneous society.
Homogeneous. What is not homo society? I thought that's what you mean. I was like, what?
Homogeneous. So
Okay.
you will
Nah,
go across here and end up with the garbage birds. Don't get the wax.
Gosh.
We don't like we end up with the soul food.
You
of
ain't
what-
be Kaiser Soze in Japan.
But think about it. It's the same thing happen in America. We end up with the Kaiser Soze of
You
you.
might be
Yes.
right.
That's
So-
what happens.
so
Anyway.
look, yeah, so
Yeah.
back to you.
So first thing again, I'll go back to this, right? People need to wake up,
Right.
right? Because a lot of what is happening to the youth is brainwashing. I'm sorry. People are being brainwashed, right? I wouldn't go into these specifics, but let's look at this, right? Men, right? Men have to create value for themselves, right? As you get older, you need to become a man of value, man of honor, these different things. Women are born with inherent value.
We're not poor. Are you a red pill guy?
I mean, I wouldn't say anything. All I would say is,
I wouldn't consider him to be a red.
Nah, don't be that guy. No.
I wouldn't consider him to be a red.
I would have said the N word just now, but
You could say- you could say the N-word.
mix crowd. Yeah, I'm accustomed. So are you? I didn't know. Are you red pill?
I'm very deep in certain things.
Hey, yo.
That's what I would say.
Mike.
I'm very awake.
You change it up. You
Extremely.
change
He's
it up.
very woke. He's very woke.
You change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like he's woken up.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of share a lot of sentiments that would mirror.
Some parts of it, however,
Yeah.
is go like, feminism. It reach a point where it's like, really, that's like some when it's kind of like outrageous.
Yeah.
Sometimes the red pill could go on that radical extent too.
But if you really look back at everything what has happened over the last 40 years, you would see the pattern and understand why,
Yeah.
right? Especially in terms of that whole movement and thing. But back to what I was saying, and it's like this. A female can walk down the road and she can probably get any guy that she wants or any man at that point. Generally speaking, she could get a man.
Average female.
Any female. Any female can go on the road and probably take home a man.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
A man cannot do the same.
It's a real
You know what? Bazie, we had to experiment this. We want to test this theory out.
Yes. No, I mean, come, we know how men
It's
are.
facts, yeah.
We know how men are.
I'm
So
very
what I'm trying to
hungry
say
for
is a man cannot do that.
No.
You have to be a certain caliber. You have to have a certain level, right? Because think about it, like look at what's happening on Instagram now, social media and stuff, where I don't know if you ever heard this song, looking for a man that's
6 foot and
blue eyes.
yeah,
Right,
that's
so it's like-
trust fund.
So
That's
there's a certain standard that everyone would want, right? But they would not get those men because that is 5% of men. You understand?
So are you familiar with the Pop the Balloon show?
No.
Pop the Balloon or Fire in Love, which is basically show that example of what you're talking about there. So a guy, people has come out, they have like the balloon is popping.
Oh yeah.
And like when is you get more matches when is the men turn to pop the balloon?
Yes.
Well, when
yes.
is the girl? Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
A guy came out, he's like, well, I just looking for a woman who, kind to me.
Gunshots.
Pop, 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 pop.
Gunshots, yeah.
When is the girl? I just strip up, man. I was like, I gotta take the chance.
Yeah.
How much you have?
So I gotta take the chance.
So that's the next thing. They say that men could date downwards, but women tend to only date upwards. That is the next thing. So like you could go in McDonald's, see a nice girl and say, hey, you can marry her. Men wouldn't be so fixated with certain things as a woman. Because to be fair, each gender have different expectations, right? We have different expectations what we want from a partner. That is a whole issue, right? The other issue is how you find in the person. Very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Tinder is an excellent example. Girls swipe left majority of the time, men swipe right majority of the time.
Really?
Unless it's a giga Chad. Pick up to you, Adam, your scumbag. It's typically that's the case. It's very hard. So where does one male find a female? Because girls want to have a meet cute. You know what a meet cute is?
I think you should explain to everybody.
Okay. So you know how meet cute is. I go down the internet
Right.
these days. So you know those dumb romance comedies where you're forced to watch sometimes?
Okay. Yeah.
Where the guy, where the guy goes into the bookstore and he's now with a rough breakup or something, and he throws his phone down and she throws her phone down. Hey, I have an iPhone 5. I have an iPhone 5 too. But they switch phones for some reason, and then it's like, oh, it's a meet cute, or they meet in a urinal or some dumb shit like that.
Okay.
Hallmark.
Yeah, make believe shit.
Right.
That's what girls, I believe television has played a very important role.
They're still in Twilight, you see?
Has played a very important role to shaping what a
Expectations.
relationship.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it would have been books, and since people don't read, we was getting away. But as soon as it became visual stimulation, we could have say, okay, here's the scene. A guy needs to be looking like Brad Pitt, and you have to be buff like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. And
So what you're saying is that men don't stand a chance.
Well, remember what I said. The will is against you at the start. So you have to say, listen, how can I be the best representation of myself? How can I be the best person of me? How could I show up and have real value? So that when somebody see me like, wow, yeah. It doesn't have anything to do with looks. Confidence, right? Could walk into a room and
Competence.
your presence, have you ever walked into a room and, everybody lights up when they see you? And you're like, yeah.
No.
Well, okay. Look the reverse, right? Look at the reverse. Imagine we sitting on here. Somebody comes in the room. Somebody you don't like. And you feel a heaviness.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh God, man.
Right. So it's the reverse. That could happen as well too. You have that, you command that presence and that confidence. Women are very attracted to that. But that has to be developed.
What is called the mystique?
The mystique. So
I guess, yeah, you could call it that.
I think it's the air competence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
where's boy? So we went on and gave you and you this time. This is Bazie and Bazie. Bazie on Bazie.
Why you would say something like that?
Pause.
Why you would say
This is
something like that?
like that? No, we brought that episode a few times. Those guys that was like me more into artistic shit.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, two men speaking and the child is here just listening. Okay, daddy, yeah, daddy, stepdad.
That's flattery, dog.
Okay, dad, stepdad. Yeah, I'm a budding comedian.
Man almost choked on the coffee, dog. Yeah, but we said it in Twilight.
I know. All right. So, where does, with all this fitness, now you might laugh, where does my dick health come in this? I had to ask about my penis. Because my penis,
Honey pack. Yeah.
I had to ask about my penis pill and with
Because them drugs, them fellas, and them taking, are they healthy?
Oh, with the drugs? So you talking about the drugs?
the only go to weed,
That type of drugs. Yeah. So, first to begin, exercise increases the penile health.
Ooh.
It increases the strength of the member.
Such a nice,
Right.
such a nice way of
Euphemism.
So when it's flaccid, it may be a little smaller, but when it becomes engorged,
man.
massive.
Hey, you
right?
telling me you don't want me cute boy using words from romance novels? I've saw that in a few romance novels.
Yes.
Engorged.
So that's that, right? Now the other thing, so horny goat weed now, yes, it works.
But because the thing is, what I'm getting is the thing on the side of the streets, and I got
The wood on the ground
wood on
is-
the ground
Yeah,
is
all right.
like 20-year-old fellas when they are performing sexual acts with girls of their age.
Yeah.
It was like, and
Real
then when
hope
they
so,
broke
yeah.
up somebody of my age, and not saying me, but somebody my age, they ask questions like, "You taking pills?"
Ooh.
And then it's like, "No, it's a pills."
Okay.
And then
okay.
because like youth men
The
are not
provision,
performing
is the provision.
in a manner sexually.
Yes. Well, you have to ask yourself why, right? And I would tell you that it has a lot to do with pornography.
I could say that was the scene, but I looked at a lot of porn as a youth man, and it has not deferred me in any way, shape, or form.
No. I'm not talking about previous use. I'm talking about consistent, current, present use.
Yeah.
You understand? Because remember, at that age, hormones raging. So, I mean, did you see the data? Was it Pornhub? I'm not sure.
Oh.
But we are, I think, the third. We are very high up
We're
on the
very happy.
list.
Because remember we pull it up at
Highest
We realtors.
No, we really
highest consumer.
And that was like a year ago.
Yeah, when we now start, we
Yeah.
gotta watch it. We was like in top 20.
Yes, we was
So
ranked
imagine you watching that 8 times a day, you doing what you had to do,
Jesus.
and your girl come around. Well, what's happening there?
Yeah,
Can't perform?
yeah.
She says, well, you know what's going on here.
Because I think what about the thirst? Because I have a brethren who's be like, dog, when there's that time, it's just thirst muscles. He can watch as much porn as he wants.
Okay.
And then when he's just beast mode. So then, and he's up, he have a punch belly, he have a ass. You know,
I know what you're talking about. Can't be making all the man.
Yeah,
so-
Yeah.
and he unfit, but then cracking the shape.
So, well, we have to look at other things like erectile dysfunction.
And that's a very common thing. No.
Yeah, and pre-ejaculation and all these different things. So, again, with the porn, that's not going to help that at all. I'll make it worse. And imagine, 3-5 seconds, you finish. What, right?
So what do you recommend, Doc?
Well,
I'm gonna
definitely,
take a honey pack, doctor.
definitely restraint when it comes to viewing those things. Meaning, okay, let's say, I mean, we have two types of people in the world. We have the one type you say, all right, stop smoking today, done. Then we have the other type. Okay, well, go from 6 cigarettes to 5, and then next week you do 4. So you have to know what type of person you are. Can you stop today for today? If you know that you are not capable or you don't believe you are, then you won't do it, right? So you say, okay, if I'm watching it 3 times a day, I'll maybe let me do twice a day. Do that for a week. Then you go down to 1 a day, and then maybe you reach the point where it's
Wean off the
once.
porn.
Exactly, once a week. Because the whole thing with porn is that it saturates the dopamine receptors in the brain, which is the receptors that are associated with achieving tasks. So that's why when people consume a lot of porn, they tend to not really be doing much in life because there's no drive to do anything else. They already, it's like, that's the purpose of, remember in the past, right? A man used to have to show himself worthy to get a partner.
Okay.
You can't go by this person's house and say, hey, can I have your daughter's hand in marriage? Where you working? You have any cows? You understand what I'm saying? But now, if there's no drive to do that, if you are ready, if you are already satisfied viewing the pornography.
So what you're saying is that the brain can't tell the difference.
Exactly.
Damn.
Yeah.
So basically, you watch porn or you do
It's
the
like you
hard
get through.
work to get up. So, all right. So technology basically is what is pushing men into this abyss of nothingness.
One of the roots, yes.
So,
Hey, you watch a Tyler using technology. Remember that song?
yeah.
That was a song.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
50
for
Cent.
sure. So, all right. We now coming out of the
No, wait, no.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have one boy, bro. The questions on never end. I have a doctor who knows about his dicks.
How about it? How about it?
So center soft. Is that a thing? Or girls just can't write properly? Because that's my theory.
Well, that has something to do with the force, the strength of the erection, which has to do with the blood flow, right? Meaning, if you have a proper erection, I mean, you can't really bend that, right? A proper thing, you can't bend it,
Can't even remember.
right? So,
If it is about real long gun or whatever, like that's not.
well, I
you can't
mean, even the long ones tend to have some level of
Because that's what they say.
stiffness.
That's what girls are saying. They say the little bigger got to be center soft. So I was like, is this nothing?
Well, all right. So first to begin, in the middle of the
That's
penis in the middle of the penis, there's something called the urethra. That's just the tract that the urine comes through.
Yeah, the thing that
and
the Q-tip is go
semen.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is like a hollow tube,
Jesus.
and it's soft. So yeah, it could squeeze and it could close and all these different things. That is the center of it. But you see, there are cases in the hospital where people have been engaging in certain activities where the female is on top and then the penis breaks. We call it a fractured penis, right? Yes, it's
big.
not a bone, but and yeah, that's very dangerous and
Hello, no more
painful.
Cowgill. No more Cowgill for me, doc.
Yeah, right. You know,
They can at least reverse it. Yeah.
That's the name of the episode.
yeah. So yeah, you know, all I would say is if you're not exercising, exercise because that will strengthen it. 6 weeks, we have studies to show that will make
Like
it happen.
regular exercise?
Well, yeah, more like cardio and stuff. So engaging in any aerobic activity and stuff, aerobics and walking, running, jogging, swimming. Yeah.
That's vibes.
Oh,
That's vibes.
So, okay, fellas. You do you.
I don't swim now.
Okay, okay.
I can't swim.
Because, nah,
I could have, man.
that's a complaint. Because around a set of people in the 20s
Right.
and fellas in the 20s, girls in the 20s. So the fellas just be like, well, they have no ambition, whatever. The fella, if you speak to a 20-year-old male now, it's like talking to a wall. And the girls now,
Things hard.
yeah, pause. The thing,
Also, Mikey, I just you can't be saying things hard on you.
things, it's just, hey, when they're not saying that stuff, that's it. I think I get back the title there. Anyway, and then girls complaining and fellas just is like, they send us off. They can't maintain erection. They can't do this. And you know that's playing the male ego. Because I want to be able to,
Please, sexuality.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, you know, we did a episode on the Doctor's Journal about impotence. You know, if you all could look back on that. But you see, the whole thing with erection is that, you know, you have many different factors. It's not just, okay, the penis. You have the brain, right? So you have the psychological aspect. You have the desire. So, you know, how do you feel about this person? That could actually make it get soft. Easy. That is the next thing too. You have the blood flow, you have the nerves, you know, what have you done for the day, hydration status. These things have a role to play as well too. So I guess if these people are lacking at that age, that is terrible, right? So first to begin, I would say, come off of the porn. Come off of the porn if you want to perform, right? That is one. The next thing is, what's your diet like, right? Are you getting zinc, all these different things? So now,
zinc important for you.
so zinc is very, yeah. If you see, you never heard this story of when the grandma said if you masturbate too much you go blind, all these different things. It's a myth. It's a myth, but it's zinc, right? Because every time you ejaculate, you release minerals and stuff. Zinc is important for testosterone, and what we are seeing now is that we have a decline in testosterone. So, like at the age of 30, you lose like 1% every year after that. So now, is it that these younger generation having problems with testosterone? We don't know because we don't have any data.
Yeah.
But is it that? Because we know that certain things have there's some called xenoestrogens, which is these are estrogen like compounds that are found in many different things, including like water bottles, plastic and stuff.
BPAs and things, yeah.
Right. And these things can mimic estrogen in your body. So as a man, if you have too much estrogen, you have difficulties. Definitely with maintaining erections and different types of things. So if your estrogen testosterone balance is off, problems in the bedroom. Just like that.
Yikes. So yeah, I watch you drinking them plastic bottle waters and
Well, so most importantly, I mean, just don't expose it to the sun.
okay.
Because that releases it.
For the microplastics?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like even the dashboard of your car, that is why you wind down the glass to let that air
With
go out
discipline.
and all these things. And we find that these things linked to cancer is in some microfibers in the clothing. That's what I'm saying. The world is against you from the time you're born. So you literally have to make that extra effort. If you want to live to a normal age,
Yeah,
that's the first
We,
thing.
we might have to go back to apocalypse though. Like just be in the bush. In clothes are we cool.
poison that drug and thing.
Poison that and
All right, so
nothing else.
as we exit the Twilight Zone. So we also know that you have a show, I like to call it the local doctors. Right? If any you know what the doctors is, right?
Is it on TV?
Like a TV show.
Yeah, I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
Nah, sorry, I don't.
Yeah, I don't really watch it.
And this man on TV.
No, it's TV. TV got different now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that media life in terms of being a host on a show that basically does a health and wellness information style kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Is there any way where you see the big pharmaceuticals kind of taking advantage of ignorance on the part of the public? Is there certain things
brother, man,
that you
we
have
ask
to...
any man.
No, that's no. Let me play.
That's all right.
Is there certain things that you know as a professional have to guide or basically help people understand when it comes to certain types of, like when you say zinc,
Right.
I would know exactly what's the dosage I should take zinc in.
Yeah.
You know, so as a healthcare professional now, you would basically need to tell me now go by this person and that person or this way or to channel them into the right way again, healthcare. Now. You know, is that type of show or is it just one where you talk about nutrition and
Like it's not Doctor. It wasn't Doctor Phil. Was he one that was the
doctors?
It was the doctor.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
As I was telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, so is it like that?
Yeah, so we have we would have a lot of like specialists on the show. So like you'd have a topic and we do our best to break it down in layman's terms so that people could understand enough that they know when to go to the doctor for something. And if something happens at home, they could actually manage and do certain things at home for themselves as well too. Because I mean, and from my perspective, you need to have some sort of knowledge. I mean, this is your body, right? You need to know, okay, if my chest hurt, it could be X, Y, and Z. You know, so you probably need to have a little knowledge. That is what this show is about, to education, so that you know when to seek help and what you can do for yourself at home too. In terms of drugs, yeah, we have sometimes we talk a little bit about drugs that are commonly used to treat certain conditions. And yeah.
Okay. Because I want to get at the point of being in the you are a general practitioner, right? And when is actually time to go to a doctor? Because our male viewers or our audience, it's statistically shown that men generally don't like to go.
And
to
we don't want to get the finger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
that feeble prostate exam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so when is the right time to actually go to the doctor? And what is a safe protocol for men who extremely against even taking a Panadol for a headache?
Yeah.
You know, what's a safe protocol to have like a checkup guideline or even the freest, easiest place to go and start that process?
Yeah. So if you never had a checkup before, by the age of 30, definitely you need to have regular blood tests done, which would include your blood count.
Shit.
You need your kidney function tests. You should check your cholesterol. And you would have your blood pressure and your sugar checked as well too. You may or may not need to check the liver. Now, any other additional tests would be based on your family history or if you're having any symptoms of diseases. So the age of 30, start. You get your check. If everything is okay, well, you probably don't need to do nothing. Maybe 5 years later, you check your kidney, you check your blood count, keep going. When you reach 40, every year, you know, you start to, yeah.
How attainable, like cost wise, is doing a full body test, full checkup?
Yeah, I mean, probably under $1,000, you know, you could probably get all of those things done.
What you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, you see, the question is, how much is a life worth?
Well, apparently $300 for half. Anyway, we was talking about something else. We was talking
No,
about
but
something else. Sorry.
if we look at the reality of it, right? If we look at the reality of it, if you have a heart attack and you need to do a stent, 200,000
Immediately.
easy. If you need open heart, 500, right? So now, would you look back and say, "Way boy, I wish I did that $1,000 test when I was 30," you know?
We literally do that all the time. When I say
Well,
we, people is
All right,
Yeah.
so this is the whole thing about life, right? A smart man would actually learn from his experiences, right? But a wise man would learn from the experience of others, right? So if somebody tell you, hey, well, this is probably something good to do,
With a try.
yeah, it's worth a try, right? And what you have to lose, yeah, $1,000, right? I mean, the money will come out. You can't put a price on your health. How many billionaires do you know at the age of 60, 70? They would spend their fortune to have an extra year of life, right? The whole thing about it is, in life, you are giving away your health for money. At the end, you are willing to give away that money for your health. So what are we really doing?
The hamster wheel,
capitalism.
boy.
Capitalism.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. So you are an author. You said so.
Yeah.
What's the name of the book?
Well, I can't say anything yet.
Wait, not
Release
Ah.
in about a month.
In a month. Going to be. I'd ask all my authors. Is this going to be on Kindle? Because I don't read unless it's on
You
Kindle.
know, not to buy other.
I don't
Well,
like
I
hard copy.
might have to do that.
Put
just,
it-
Yeah.
just
put
so
it-
you can get to read it.
There's a whole market of readers who don't even like touching books anymore.
Like my shit is Kindle. That'll get me into reading
Okay.
1,000,000%. So like it's easy to just get on Amazon. I forget what this
Amazon, right?
No, Amazon. They you sign up and you publish your stuff and then you just get royalties straight from the books, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Like
Sounds
It's something
good.
to look
Yeah.
at.
I'll
Just
look
something to
into
look
no,
at.
trust me. If actually
yeah.
get a virgin who write a book, I was like, hey, it's on Kindle. Once it's on Kindle,
Once
I
it's
buy
on
it.
Kindle.
Okay.
And I read it in about a month
That's cool.
or less.
Yeah. I know you're gonna buy it.
Pick up yourself, let's go.
Yeah, that's cool. Right.
But yeah, so you can't talk about the book.
But so, I mean, maybe
It's a health. Is it health based?
Health related. Yeah.
Okay. So, being that we can't speak about the book, what we could actually talk about is the artistic journey. What make you decide to write a book instead of do like a documentary?
Who says I don't want to do a documentary?
So, all that's in the pipeline.
Well, you didn't talk to me yet because everybody knows how I do documentaries. That's no fuck.
Plug it up, plug
Yeah,
it
man,
up,
man.
plug
Hey,
it
yo.
up.
Okay.
But
Pause.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was
Say
very,
three
that
times.
was very
That's
good. That was very
pause
good.
by three. I don't got
But yeah.
Oh, but I double swear though. Sorry, so. Yeah,
Anyway,
I just want to try to have the biggest impact and reach that I possibly can.
so you do a lot of traveling with your role, like you outside. Is one of them fresh waters?
Not necessarily for my role, but in my life, yeah, I travel a lot.
Okay.
I see.
And-
No, you would when you first.
So from the travels now, you were able to like clean certain things, and when you come back here, it was like, oh, this is what going on here. Okay, was it that? Oh,
Well, yeah, definitely. Because I mean, especially in the Eastern world, things are a little different to here, So yeah,
Well, no, I'm gonna ask my jackass question. Thank you.
Feel
I'm
free.
gonna ask my jackass question. So I see, you know, it have MAGA, right? Like Make America Great Again.
Yeah.
So are you part of the mega movement?
well,
Well, you know what the mega movement is?
no, it's the mega movement.
Mega, M-I-G.
No, what's that?
Mac Indian Girls again. That's this. Are you a staunch?
Well, I mean, my fiance here is Indian and Spanish, so I mean,
Hybrid. You are the reason for telling such a joke. Hey, partner. I joking. Into it. I come up with that last week where it was like, how everybody now kind of going out like outside and trying to pick up a Spanish girl or whatever. And I was like, hey, but we forget that we have very locally grown girls right here.
You're speaking about the Spanish versus East Indian woman war.
Yeah, that are Spanish
About
versus.
war, but apparently.
On the papers, I had to get back this article because people think I'm lying. Where like we are a woman, an Indian woman was like, the sex war going on and we lost it.
That's the article.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the article.
The sex war going on and we lost it. So I was catching
That's
riot kicks.
crazy. That
Well, you
What
know,
the hell?
if all I would say is, if we look at Venezuela as a country and what it produced in terms of beauty and
You want shit?
things like that,
go ahead, love you.
you know, I mean, you know, it's like if you have a country that is known for exquisite beauty, you know, things like that, we could understand certain things.
Okay, so you're trying to be on the side of the fellas and
Well, okay.
They say they can't help it.
Yeah, that's not.
That's what you're saying.
I take it back. My mega hat there.
No. What I'm saying is we could understand why the war is going the way it's going and why things are happening. And that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I didn't have a dog in this race. It's not about me.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, get on the drink now. Hey, you trying to get me cussing this car when I go home?
Yeah, you know where this go.
Yeah.
But I mean, we coming up to we have others Cinco's. Right. So we have about 5 minutes, right? What we're gonna do is just end the show of fun. You were talking about this event that's coming up with your fiance.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Because we have a show to attend.
Plenty
Yo,
events.
yo,
and one
yo,
which event?
Your wedding?
No.
Again, we get invited to your
No,
wedding?
we've been invited to a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
All right. So it's we need to know exactly what it's about, and you could plug your show.
All right.
But
So it's called the
the show.
Raw Fitness Invitational. It's a bodybuilding show that originated last year, and it's usually for competitors that are not professional yet, and there's prize money involved, and I think it's very good for the fitness industry, you know, as a good marketing tool as well, and awareness to bodybuilding.
Okay, so this is a bikini show.
No,
Well,
it's a
there's girls?
bodybuilding show, and it has girls, and bikini is one of the classes.
I'm on the road now. Okay, I'm listening. Let's
But
go.
they are men too. So
Right. So just tell you when the men starting and we'll come after.
they'll probably save the bikini for the end. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Pause. Just saying pause because he's like, yeah. But, so we'll arrive after the male category, or we probably will leave when the male category starts. Or whatever. So you really see no man in no jockey shorts, kind of.
Yeah.
That jockey shorts thing,
everyone.
yeah.
Well,
Do you do it? Would you go into that? Because I mean,
The jockey shorts one, not a
that
big
jockey shorts
fan
thing hard, boy.
of doing it
Pause.
for myself.
she laughing.
Why she laughing?
Was he fucking that?
She laughed at
I
the jockey
mustn't
shorts.
joke. I mustn't joke. Whole day. That's taking a laugh at. Okay, get out of here.
So
Yeah.
you know, so they have different categories. For men, we have the physique, the men's physique, which is the board shorts. That is what I did.
Right.
So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Then you have classic physique, which they have some. It's a small drawers, if you want to say a drawers, right? Small
That
one.
is the one, man. That's the
But
one.
no, but the next one is
Okay.
the jockey shorts.
Is there anything for ectos? Like a category just for the ectos? The ectomorphs?
Do you go and do all
The
these
skinny,
things?
I want to make a skinny man fitness thing. We good in cardio and shit. We penile health. Raj, start getting up with this. You want to come on the stage too? Stand up and do the helicopter. I don't know.
Ay, come on, me dueling. Yeah, that's what the Spanish are saying. Yeah, that's crazy that you will come out and just say that.
I don't know. But yeah, so what day is the
Saturday, the 19th, which is 3 days out.
this Saturday?
But yeah.
You ready? Yeah, we will see. So we will see when you come to the show.
Yeah, that's not. What's gonna happen is that. So who's hosting?
Well, I actually don't know, you know. Last year was Rome.
That's what I was gonna ask. If it was,
Yeah.
because I was like, yeah, if I'm on speed dial, I was like, hey, yeah, you must stand double. And
Just
he stand
come
up
on,
over
I
you
showed you
and
from
bang, bang.
quick easy magic, right? Cool.
And it's
So,
like, so
we shall be we hopefully
don't
get the time
don't
to
pass us,
attend.
don't
to
pass
the
us
show.
straight.
Nah, nah.
You know, when you with your buff man
Crew.
crew.
Buff man crew and
Yeah.
skinny spot. Yeah, see, boy, you do the same thing. He's like, hey, you cannot get the. Nah, I know this. Yeah, you know, I know this nigga from Warcraft. He's not my friend.
He's still waving, Every time I watch him, he's still watching. Alright, cool. So, yeah.
Magic Mike.
So that final words, and we can roll out of this strike.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It was a nice conversation. I want to say, to the men, you have to understand that you need to find your purpose in life, right? Why are you here? It can't be to play video games. What are you contributing to society, right? What legacy are you leaving behind? Are you gonna have children? All these type of things. Remember, 80 years ago, 100 years ago, the issues were, okay, I have to go to war, right? I have to die.
Damn.
Imagine your parents burying your son, right? And then you come out your house, the neighbor house blown up. You have to go to work. So what I'm trying to say is strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. So where are we in this cycle? I mean, our time's hard, looking pretty hard. So, we have to take that into consideration. Ask yourself where you want to be, what you want to do. Who are you?
Agreed.
How is top down? You're watching me like I'm supposed to say something funny.
your turn.
Okay, I guess I'll go I'll skip the jockey show. I'll go and see the jockey show competition, bro. Don't study, bro. That's not. Pause. I'll watch it just for the record.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just I say I did it once in my life.
No, see.
So Saturday. Where is it?
In Brentwood Mall, in the Raw Fitness Gym.
Oh, this happening.
It's
So
happening
okay, Brentwood. I'll try to come without my short. I can wear short pants. I like my little short pants, and I want my lack of calves to show.
Spectator.
Lack of. What the hell you do to get your calves bigger than mine? That's why I didn't figure. That's
Why? You wouldn't want to know. Hard training.
Yikes.
not good. Pass. Skip.
Yikes. You only know the usual. Do good every time and good will follow. Only we out.
That's all, folks.